Dear Ivona, thank you very much for accepting my invitation to come to Multicore World, but it's your first time in New Zealand and in Multicore World, having so many options everywhere in the world. What brought you to New Zealand? What do you find different here?
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. It's a wonderful venue here, and the talks, the people, sounds so exciting to me. The discussions that we have are very enlightening and very exciting to me. Plus, having a room of people understanding my issues, it is always very beneficial. They all understand the issues that I'm speaking about, so that's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I try to tell people. Look, this is at peer level, so anyone here can give a keynote in front of 5,000 people, and 900 are extras, so we all participate. But into the technical thing, one thing that you say that we do not transfer data, we transfer models. Can you elaborate a little bit more? When you say models, at what scale, which are the obstacles, what for, from where?
So one particular aspect that we are evaluating in our research is what are the costs of transferring raw data, and there are costs. There are bandwidth costs, there are costs of the data transportation, data processing. So what we try to do is to put machine learning and AI as close as possible to the end devices and let the end devices do the inference with the edge nodes in the close geographical vicinity. So we capture all the changes, all the behavioral changes through the model in edge nodes.
But the moment when you put that AI or DL into the device, they are, let's call them static. So they are not learning on its own, or they keep learning at the edge.
That's the very challenging issue, is not to let them be static, and they are not, because the changes, the world is changing, behavior is changing, so you have to keep updating the models at the edge. And this is one of the core research area where we are also working, how to facilitate exchange of models at the right time interval, not to be too late to have low quality of the inference, but also not to be too early to have high costs of maintaining such infrastructure. So this is a really, I would say, hot topic and ongoing research area in edge community.
Now, regarding edge, there are ethic components that sometimes we want to explore, but at the end of the day, it's just a relatively complex area, and we can hide under the shell of being technocrats or just technologists. Do you have any intersection with other groups in your university or in your region or even in industry? Because sometimes industry can push with, let's call it, shareholder interest and the common good. Do you consider that formally?
Yes, of course. Especially in the last years, I had a lot of conversation with scientists from the social area, sociology, psychology, law, because they are also working on this issue, and it's at the same time demanding, challenging, but also fulfilling when you at least create a common language we can discuss about. I don't know, sometimes we are talking about the same issues, same problem, but we use different terminology. So for me, one success that we have right now is creating a common terminology that we all work on, and then everyone can focus on his or her focus of work to bring problems, or at least define formally problems. So that's already bringing a step forward if we define formally problems that we have.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's a significant comment to say that let's talk the same language, and hopefully a human language. And I'm not trying to be cheeky here, because I mean there are words. I mean, we experienced this with the digital twin concept yesterday on the panel. But changing subject, another buzzword or a term of actuality, which is quantum computing, that you are exploring in. How deep, how realistic, what is the timeline? And you showed the slide with something which was new to me, the ecosystem of quantum computing in Austria. Now, we in New Zealand have a very tiny community, but Australia, for example, it's pretty strong. Are you supported by the Austrian government? It's funding from European Union. Who define your roadmap?
Well, in Europe and also in Austria, we have fundings and we have also calls where we can submit our proposals in the area of quantum computing, especially also in intersection with other disciplines, which is also nowadays computer science, of course. This is one thing, so there is, we have funding and there are financial supports for us. Another thing, if you ask me to establish a roadmap or to tell you when the technology is going to be ready, I cannot. But what I can tell you is 5 years ago, I never thought that the quantum computing will be here where it is, right? So there was really massive development, new fields, new application areas. There are now first, I would say, semi-commercial computers. IBM has researcher programs, so at least researchers can use quantum computers to perform their experiments and to,
even through the cloud.
Even through the cloud.
Means.
So you have interface as well. You can access quantum computers from all around the world. So this is a fundamental change that we have, so we can work, we can do our experiments. We are going to see how this field is going to develop in the next few years, but I mean, I don't know if I should dare to say, but I think in the next 5 years we are not going to have, super commercial quantum computers, but I think the science is going to work more on it, especially non-quantum scientists like computer scientists or surrounding disciplines are and will be affected by this development.
That's a very interesting observation, which brings me to the topic of collaboration, because I'm not sure if you're aware that New Zealand, it's not sure if it's already accepted, but it's on its way to becoming an associate member of the European Union regarding at least co-funding for Horizon 2020 or similar programs. Is your mandate or your charter in your university or in certain other regional funding agencies open to collaborations? Because I always say, Austrian taxpayer, why should care about New Zealand science?
I'm absolutely looking forward to collaborate. There are many opportunities for Austria via such programs like with US or Brazil. I know there are special programs, for example, to collaborate with Brazil. Why not with New Zealand, right? And there is a synergy effect. I think everyone in Austria can benefit if we have some knowledge in New Zealand that we don't have in Austria, but we benefit both from the joint programs. So I'm pretty much looking forward to collaborating.
You will hear from us then.
Okay, I'm looking
Thank
forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.